Hello everyone, this is Professor Sexton with a short video lecture on your paper 2 assignment. And also I want to review paper formatting because for a number of you when you submitted the first paper assignments, the MLA formatting was not correct. I didn't take off any points for that, but I just wanted to go over that again so everyone knows what it is that you need to do in terms of formatting. But let me begin by sharing the paper assignment with you first. So it will be coming up. Okay, here we are. And the thing is, I'm going to do this combination thing where I'm going to read most of it, but then I'll stop every now and then if I need to explain something about it. So for your second paper, you're being asked to use either Beth Kephardt's House as a Home or Colson Whitehead's essays, City Limits, Subway, or JFK to write your own essay either on your home and its significance or your New York City. Let me just clarify here. Your essay is not a response to Kephart essay or Whitehead essay, so you're not required to use their essays in your essay, so you don't have to directly engage with anything that they stated. You're using their essays as a model and a framework for your own essay. Now, keep in mind that if there's something in Kephardt's essay or in Whitehead's essay that you do want to use and respond to, you're more than welcome to do that. So there are two options for this paper assignment. So let me give you option one first. So option one is your home. In Kephardt's House is Home, she writes that we have been shaped by the houses and the land of our past. So for this topic, you're being asked to explain and illustrate how your house and home has shaped and defined you. In Kephart essays, she writes of the various elements of home. So she writes about proportion or otherwise size, color, function or dysfunction, echoes, which is other words sounds, or stage sets. For this topic, you need to answer how your house home has shaped you. Begin the essay with the answer to this question, how your house home has shaped you. So before you even begin to write this one, if you decide to do this topic, think about how your house or home has shaped you. What is it that you got out of that? And your thesis might be, my home taught me what it meant to be loved and how to love. Whatever the answer is to that question, that answer needs to be stated directly in your introduction because that is what's going to form the basis of your entire essay. So it needs to be in that introduction somewhere, stated clearly. Once you have the answer to that question, then what you need to do is you need to choose three elements. So you can use the ones that Kephart used, such as sounds or size, or you can come up with your own, such as family or food. It really doesn't matter to me which three elements that you use. You can do a combination of the two. Use some from Kephart, use some of your own, or use all of your own. It really doesn't matter to me. But what you need to do is with each of these elements, describe each of these elements in specific detail with examples so that through your words, a reader can see the actual color of your home, hear the sounds that you heard, and or smell the food as you did. So you really want to take the reader into your home. So when I'm reading this paper, I can physically see the home. I can smell the home. I hear what you hear. I can see the colors. So you want to be as descriptive as you possibly can. But keep in mind, with each of these elements that you're describing, they have to relate back to your thesis statement. So if your thesis statement is that your home taught you what it was to be loved and how to love, then how did the color teach you that? How did the food teach you that? How did the family teach you that? That needs to be very clear in each section of the body paragraphs. So make sure that you have that answer, because by having that answer, that makes it more easy for you to develop with those body paragraphs. So that's option number one. Option number two is your New York City. So in Whitehead's City Limits, he alludes to building his own New York, and he emphasizes that the New York City you live in is not my New York City. And then also in Subway and JFK, he describes his reflections on these two common New York experiences that many New Yorkers would have had, but keep in mind, they are his experiences, not yours. So your experience of riding the subway might be very different than his experience of riding the subway, which is totally fine. So what this option is asking you to do is to write about your own New York. But once again, if you choose this option, you need to begin your essay by having an answer to what does New York City mean to you? Come up with that answer first. And then once you have that answer, then choose the three elements that will illustrate that meaning. And like option number one, there are so many ways that you can go here. I mean, if you want to, you can use some of the elements that Whitehead uses, such as buildings, subways, the airports, or you can select others. I mean, for you, New York City might be defined by your neighborhood, the area in which you live in, your apartment, the friends that you've made here, the person you've fallen in love with here, whatever elements of New York City that makes New York City yours. For those of you who have moved to New York City from somewhere else, it could be the first thing that you saw in New York City and how that is always a frame of reference to you. Um, it may be a particular street, that you hung out on. I mean, it really doesn't matter what elements you choose. But what you have to do with every three elements, describe them specifically. Give me the details. So, like when I'm reading the essay, if you're talking about a street, I want to feel like I am on that street. What is it that you see? What is it that you hear? And keep in mind, those sights and sounds have to connect back to what this city means to you. So every element connects back to what the city means to you. This essay topic is tricky because on one level, it's not a difficult essay topic because it's all you, but that also makes it difficult. Writing about ourselves is probably one of the most difficult things to do. I know that from personal experience. So what you may want to do is you may want to take a lot of time just to kind of like think through these, answer the questions first and come up with the elements and like sketch them out, make an outline for yourself and just see. And don't be afraid to play around with it, to test it, to see if it works. You might want to take something out. For this paper assignment, page lengths are 3 to 4 pages, but keep in mind that it's suggested, not required. And the only reason I went with 3 to 4 here, because if you give me as much detail as I'm requiring, there's a lot of possibility for these papers to be very detailed and very long. But keep in mind, you want all that detail to be related to your thesis statement. The paper needs to be typed in double space. And then if you see here on the second page, keep in mind, drafts and outlines are not required. But if you'd like to send me a draft or an outline, I'll need it emailed to me by Saturday, October 15. And please email it. So, email it to me as a Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or Pager Docs. Don't post it to Blackboard, because if you post it to Blackboard, then that looks like it's your final paper submission, and that's not what you want to do. So if you want to send me an outline or draft, email it to me. And keep in mind, outlines and drafts don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be finished. I mean, like if you are just trying to think, what's my thesis statement? And you just want to send me an email and say, hey, Professor Sexton, this is the thesis statement that I'm thinking of, and these are the 3 elements that I'm considering. So if you want to like just spring things on me just to kind of get my response, feel free. If not, you don't have to. The due date for the paper is 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, October 22nd, posted to Blackboard. So there's a considerable amount of time to work on this paper. But I think one of the most important things for this option is to just sit around and like spend a week, even before you sit down to start writing. Spend a week thinking about okay, which topic do I want to do? Do I want to do my home or do I want to do my New York City? And once you decide that, think of that thesis statement. You know, what does your home mean to you? How does your home shape you? Or if you decide to go with New York City, what is your New York City? You know, come up with those answers and then think about the elements of your home that can illustrate how your home has shaped you. You know, and as I said before, it could be the family members who lived in your house. It could be the sounds of your house, the color of your house. It could be how you feel when you're in your house. I mean, this is wide open. Same thing with New York City. There's so many different ways that you can go there. So as I said before, this is the paper assignment. On one level, it seems, I'm going to stop sharing. On one level, it seems easy. But then on another one, I know how difficult writing about yourself can be. So really just take the time to kind of think through this. Um, Answer those questions for yourself. As I said before, if you want to send me an email and have me look at something, or if you want to discuss something with me in terms of the paper assignment, please do that. Send me as many emails as you like. The other thing that I want to do is I want to talk about paper formatting because for the paper assignments, a lot of you got the paper formatting incorrect. Now, keep in mind, I didn't take off any points for paper formatting. So I may have marked it, but I didn't take off any points. But I just want to share this document with you again, just so we can all be on the same page. So for the first page of your papers assignment, you need your full name. Um, and I'm just using a name from Dune, but whatever your name is, that needs to be here in the upper left-hand margin. Your first name, your last name. Then in the upper right-hand margin, you need your page numbers. The way the page numbers are done, it's your last name and the page number. If you're using Microsoft Word, you can do header footer to put this on. And I think Pages and Google Docs has a way to do this as well, but you can also do it manually. Then the second line is my name, which is just Professor Sexton. That's all you had to put. And then the third is our course. So it's ENGL 101-FNT8, because you have to have the section number too. A lot of you had the English 101, but you didn't put the section number. And then you want to put the date that the paper is due, and you're putting it in a European form. So you'll put the numerical date first. So for that next paper, it'd be 22. You spell out the month, which will be the month of October, and you give the whole year, all 4 digits, 2022. And then you double space, center, and give your paper a title. Your title has to be specific to your paper. So for instance, if you're writing about home, and you're writing that your home taught you love, you can have something like Home is Love. I mean, it's not the most interesting title because it just came off at the top of my head, but try to think of a title that's very creative, but it needs to be a title that is directly related to what you're discussing in your paper assignment. Then also, each paragraph needs to be indented. So see how this paragraph starts here? That's an in, for some reason my computer does this every now and then. It'll stop sharing. Let me see if I can get this to share again. Um, Here we go. Sorry about that. Um, but notice how this is tabbed in. So hit tab once or space 10, but each paragraph needs to be indented because that lets your reader know that you started a new paragraph. Then double space, and then when you start a second paragraph or another paragraph, indent again. Your introduction needs to be a separate paragraph. Each body paragraph is a separate paragraph. So if you're writing about home, once you give the introduction, if your first element is going to be about the size of your house, start a new paragraph. Everything in that paragraph is about the size. Then if you're going to move to the sounds of your house, and then again, start another paragraph, and everything in that paragraph is about sounds. Also notice here on the second page of your paper, you continue with the page numbers. So you give your last name and the page number. So this time it's Atreides 2. Notice that all that information that was on the first page is not on page 2. So all that information on the first page, like your full name, my name, the course, and the date is only on the first page, not any of the pages. But then keep in mind, as you move to the third page, name, page number again, and keep in mind, you need to indent the paragraphs. So that's how to format the paper assignments. And that was a discussion of paper 2 assignment. If you have any questions about paper 2 assignment or any questions about paper formatting, please email me and I'll be more than happy to discuss those with you. If we need to meet virtually and you want me to go through it on my computer by sharing my screen in more detail, just reach out to me and let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Okay, I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to reading these next group of papers. Bye, everyone.